Welcome to Berkeley Squared. My name is Melanie, and I'm here with Marvin McMillian.
Yes.
McMillian.
How you doing,
Yay,
Melanie?
nice to see you. I know we're both MMs.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
so glad that you could join me here today. And,
Thank you so much for having me.
Berkeley Squared is a show that we're dedicating to artists who are making a difference in the community and who are living their passion and being able to express themselves and support other people. So I think you are right on target here. I don't know that much about you, but I do know that you're originally connected to the TV station for other reasons.
Yes.
And maybe you can share that story of how you came back to us.
Okay. Yes. So I was on a program years back with Sally Baker. She had a program where she would interview local artists and
We Poets.
Yeah, We Poets. Yes, thank you. We Poets, where she would interview local artists, and you were able to show your artwork or whatever you were involved with within the community. So I did that.
Were you
actually,
just a kid?
I wasn't necessarily a kid. I guess I was a young adult at that time. But it was great to actually be on the show at that particular point in time. It was a great starting point for my career at that time.
Tell us about your art.
I'm actually a fine artist, painter. I do a lot of work on canvas, and I use acrylic paint, sometimes oil paint, and mixed media as well. Some abstract work, but more so figurative work like jazz musicians, and some abstract work as well with a lot of various colors and different subject matters. Some are a little more serious, some are a little bit involves politics, things of that nature.
So we're going to take a look at the first piece is a woman's face with a little pink ribbon on the poster. And I just want to say that when I first saw that image, I thought, wow, whatever this story is, I want to know what it is. And because there's so much light and gold, there's this feeling of vibrance in it. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, that particular, this particular piece that we're looking at now was inspired by, I had lost my sister some time ago due to breast cancer, and I actually didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my sister. She had just suddenly passed of it. She kind of lived that in silence. She didn't let any of our family members know at the particular time. And when I spoke, well, I didn't speak to her when I found out. It was pretty much at the time of her funeral. So, and prior to that, even before I found out that she had passed from breast cancer, I was trying to donate paintings to different breast cancer organizations, and I was having a little bit of a hard time. I was trying to give different paintings away that I had produced for the breast cancer organization. But seeing that I wasn't a part of any other organization, a lot of the breast cancer organizations and organizations who are partnered with the breast cancer organization, or the foundation I should say, they wouldn't allow me to give the work away. So it was very disheartening at that time. And then to come to find out years later when my sister passed of it, I really felt like I had missed my mark of being able to give, and then having that happen with my sister kind of just set me back a little bit mentally. But what I wind up doing is a good friend of mine was, we were talking, and he was saying that there was this organization in, they were going to have this event in San Francisco, and it was a part of the Stanford breast cancer organization, and they're in partnership with Stanford. So they were having this event on this particular weekend, and when I was talking to my friend, which his name is Lionel Seals, we'll give his name out, Lionel Seals. He was telling me about this organization and that they were having this African American cancer seminar in San Francisco. So I'm like, oh wow, that sounds nice. I'm like, wow, I would really like to contribute to that. And he had told me that, you know, maybe you could. So anyway, he texted his friend and just told her that someone might be interested in donating something to the organization.
Like as a raffle prize or some kind of like a...
Yes, as a, well, just a silent auction, yes. So what I wind up doing is kind of researching breast cancer again, going online, kind of refreshing my mind with it again. And there was a lot of, I guess, emotions and just the backstory of what I had witnessed and what I had been through, you know, some time ago was kind of still fresh in my mind. So it allowed me to bring this picture forth, in other words.
So you created this as a response for being able then finally to give something to an organization.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It came forth.
Exactly.
So this is your sister. Is this from a picture that you?
Actually, it's a mixture of a photograph. I necessarily didn't want to just concentrate on my sister. I wanted it to be a kind of like a poster or a representation of all African American women who were suffering from this disease. So that's why I kind of put the highlight of the white around the lady or the portrait, just to represent the shining light that they exemplify, and then the strength in their eyes and just that profile.
I really got
yes.
it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, fantastic.
That's amazing.
Oh,
yeah, really
thank you.
Felt right away, like when I first saw it.
Yes.
And so I want to know more about your relationship with your sister too. And, and like sometimes people do things like that are more intuitive than they know.
Yes.
There's some connection. And even though you didn't know she had it because she was secretive about it.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. You were able to pull it forth and just go with your gut.
Yes.
Is that how so let's talk about this next piece, which is Oscar Grant.
Oh, okay.
And I want to ask you about what your gut told you about that.
Okay, well, every time I go into a particular piece, I like to put some type of thought behind it, or if it's something that I'm going through, or something that's just inspiring for me, or I like to kind of put that into my pieces that I do, my paintings. This particular piece with Oscar Grant, this was, of course, everybody knows the story, the event where, at the BART station, yes. So that tragic thing had happened. So what I wanted to do, opposed to marching and things of that nature, I just wanted to kind of show my, I guess, grieving process, and also just to trying to honor him in some kind of way, the best way I know how, which is to paint a picture. So I had seen a lot of things online and just all the information that was in the press, and just talking to different friends about what had happened, and just we started having a lot of dialogue based on the event. So what I did is I was just thinking I need to somehow portray not just the fact that he had gotten killed. My thing was to kind of represent represent the loss of this person's soul, and also pay homage to him as well. And then,
give me chills.
Oh, and kind of just let his mom and his family know that that he was a good person, and that we hate that type of loss. So that's why I named the piece "Lost Ticket," because even though he's actually lost, I considered it like a metaphor where sometimes you lose a BART ticket, things of that nature. But in this case, he's such of a lost ticket that his mother will never get this type of ticket back, even though it's lost, because you can always purchase another BART ticket with either for the same amount or put more funds on a BART ticket, things of that nature. But in this case, this lost ticket can never be found, and it was such of a high value. So that's why I put the type of images. The BART ticket just kind of represents that.
Well, yeah, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
So, and especially if it's starting a dialogue, or it began with a dialogue between you and your friends, and maybe it'll help continue the dialogue. That, I mean, obviously there's things that happen every day in America.
Yes.
That we're experiencing, and lots of racial inequalities that are happening every day, and profiling and such that are making it not fair, with some of the things that are happening.
Exactly.
People dying needlessly. So it's really good to keep those conversations going.
Yes.
Those are pretty serious pieces.
Yeah, most definitely, yes.
So when you're working on that, that's what you're putting your full intention in there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little more lighthearted piece. What's the next piece? Was it Big Momma?
So the Big Momma piece, this one is actually on masonite board.
Okay.
So it's just a large, firmer piece of wood. The other pieces were on canvas, larger pieces of canvas. This particular piece is on masonite board, where I actually gesso the piece gesso the board first, because it's like a brownish type texture, very smooth. But I actually put white gesso over the top of it, and then began my process of kind of building up
and is
colors.
The texture? It's like a texture. The masonite board is textured.
Well, it's like a smooth wood.
Okay.
Darker in color, but very smooth, and you can order them in larger size pieces. So this particular piece is 48 by 48, which is pretty big.
That is pretty big.
Yes.
Is that the larger, of the larger sizes that you work with? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
So this one is more so a collage, actually. So it's a little bit of I've taken a couple of scriptures out of the Bible, 2 pages out of the Bible, and paste them on the piece as well. But this particular piece represents how our grandmothers and big mamas, I guess you would say, back in the day, were like the people who kind of held the family together at that point. So they were normally like the financial advisor, they were the psychiatrist, things of that nature, the banker, pretty much everything in the family back in the day. So I just wanted to kind of pay tribute to our big mamas and grandmothers and things of that nature, because a lot of times our grandmothers and big mamas, as we call them, could be an auntie, could be a sister, things of that nature. They kind of held our families together.
That's right.
So this particular piece, I just wanted to pay that homage to the people that I kind of grew up with and that inspired me and instilled like biblical scriptures, and just to make sure that we kind of stay on the right track.
What are the scriptures kind of referring to?
I believe one of them is to, I think the 10 Commandments is one of them, one of the scriptures that's listed there. And I believe the other one is the Psalms, I believe, like one of the Lord's Prayer, I should say. Also, I have her holding a little black book, which was representation of the Bible.
Okay.
So
it's not a little black book, take down your name.
No, not that kind of black book.
Okay. Okay.
But the other black book, as it was known throughout our culture of African American people. So I have her kind of clutching the Bible very tightly, just to symbolize that she kind of believed in her faith very strongly, and that's kind of what kept her going.
So that's what's keeping her going, for
Yes.
her to be the glue for the family.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really important.
Yes.
Are you very religious?
I would say I'm spiritual and religious, I guess you would say, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something that comes through in your paintings. It's just got some like a vibration and a depth, so I see it.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I try to put a lot of energy into my paintings and really think about my subject matter and what I'm going to paint about.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of put my all into it. I spend anywhere from several days, sometime, I know 8 hours straight, sometime on one painting, which probably leads into the prior day with a little bit of eating here and there, a little bit of water or juice or whatever.
Do you
kind of keep me going.
all in one take, kind of?
I try to. A lot of times I kind of just go through with it to get my, yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
To get all of my feelings, I guess, and emotions out in that particular painting. And usually from the response of people, they kind of feel that. So it's something I just like to kind of put my energy into it and just see what I can do and what I can bring out of myself as well.
So I like that you're bringing in your ancestors and paying homage to the women in your life.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
And a lot of that connectedness and the people who are supporting and pulling things together are the women in families often.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it has to do with food and cooking, good cooking.
Yes.
I know, because my mom's from the South, and
Okay.
I know your family's from the South.
Yes,
even though
exactly.
we're California babies.
Yes.
That it makes a big difference to, that food really brings people together.
Yes, exactly.
I think the peach
Cobbler piece?
Peach cobbler piece?
Yes, so that was that's another piece which is 48 by 48 on the masonite board as well. These two particular pieces is a part of an actual series called Black Picket Fences. And these two particular pieces are kind of paying homage to the African American culture, like in terms of the cooking, the Big Momma piece, the person in the family that meant a lot, that held the family together. And this particular piece called Peach Cobbler is kind of paying homage to soul food and things of that nature, which, like in American culture, apple pie is like the American pie, which pretty much every family does, and our family does as well, make apple pies. Mm-hmm. But here I just want to kind of celebrate that what we do is normally have peach cobbler during the holidays and kind of celebrate that. So I've shown a partial of the peach cobbler recipe in our family that we use. So I couldn't put everything. Recipe. Yeah, I couldn't put everything on there, but I kind of just just put a little bit on there just to kind of whet people's appetite to kind of get them started.
I have to say, I'm salivating right now.
It's all
just the holidays, and that there's always the traditional pumpkin, or
yes,
pecan, or apple pie, but then there's a certain remembrance of summer with the peach.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, sweet.
Yes.
Sweet. So do you cook at home?
I do a little bit of cooking. I got a little bit of skills where I can kind of put some things together. A little bit of baking. I'm not the best at this peach cobbler, but I can make one satisfactory.
They infuse that with you.
Yes.
Good. Cool. So you mentioned jazz musicians, and could you tell me about the piece where it's more cubical, more like Picasso sort of, or something. I don't know what that style is. Can you tell me a little bit about what your training is coming to these, because they're kind of diverse, different styles.
Well, I like to paint different themes, whatever kind of comes that, like I was saying earlier, that I feel that's evoking a certain mood or emotion, something that I would like to just kind of bring forth. This particular piece is, I think this one's 30 by 40 on watercolor paper. It's actually acrylic. It's a mixed media piece. It's acrylic, pastel, and I believe some color pencil as well is thrown in there, and a little bit of Dr. Martin's ink. So this particular piece kind of represents a jazz artist kind of being in his own element, where he's kind of playing his instrument by himself, kind of tapping into that particular zone, kind of like I feel when I'm in my art world, I guess, or my own world, where I'm actually just painting. I'm kind of in my own world, just kind of exploring and letting things come as they may. And then this particular piece, I just wanted to show this artist in his own environment, which is himself, and just kind of invoking himself in this particular, when he's playing his music. He's just kind of indulged in his own space and kind of in his own zone at this particular point. So I wanted to also represent with all of the colors that he's actually kind of distant from this world, but he's actually within his own musical world and just getting lost in that. And the kind of movement of his body, I kind of wanted to represent movement. So that's why he's at these funny different types of angles, just to kind of represent that particular mood and movement of the music.
So, and it's almost like you're improvising what that person is improvising too in their own little world.
Yes, exactly.
And
that was my thought behind what I was hoping to go for.
and you said it's watercolor, so it has natural water.
It's actually acrylic. Pastel, and a little bit of Dr. Martin's ink. It's like a ink-based, it's very similar to watercolor, I guess you could say, because you can thin it out with water, but it's more of like a ink-based medium.
And the pastel is like that, like sort of chalky?
Like a chalk, yeah, like a chalk pastel, colored pastel, yes.
It gives a different texture, flavor to the
Yes, that's what I was going for. I really like a lot of texture in some pieces, depending on which ones I'm painting. But if you notice in the background of this particular piece, there's a lot of texture and also movement in the piece, kind of showing through the background. And also in his material of his clothing as well. You can see some of the background kind of peeking through, and little elements of the paper as well. which it's on watercolor paper like this Bristol board. I think it's like a 2 or 4 ply paper.
And how big is that one?
That one I believe is 30 by 40 if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Pretty big.
Yeah, you must have big walls in your house.
A little bit. Yeah, we have some nice size walls. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you do you have art shows? Do you display at like cafes, or kind of where do you show your work?
Well, I've shown throughout the Bay Area. I have some work that's in New York. If it's still there, it's at Run Athletics in New York. I believe they company with Fat Farm. I think it was all in the same building. I had created a piece of Jam Master Jay, which was the person that was the DJ associated with Run DMC at that particular point in time. So it was kind of like a tribute piece to him. So they actually have that hanging up at their facility. So I've done a lot of pieces. Currently, I don't have a show, but I'm actually, I don't have anything showing at any show in the Bay Area. However, I am working on a show in LA, so I'm kind of working out the details with the gallery. So hopefully we'll be having that in the next couple of months.
Nice.
So yeah, we're still kind of ironing out the details.
So I noticed that you have this last piece is a digital piece.
Yes, yes.
And it's unusual. I wouldn't even know how you would show that, except that you would have it as like as a piece that people could. How does that work? Tell me about the.
Yes, this particular piece is. I was just kind of trying out the iPad. So I've been kind of experimenting on the iPad. First, I was kind of against drawing on the iPad because I felt like we have this iPad technology is kind of taking over art. It's not, exactly. It's not authentic. So I'm like, I don't like it. But then I wind up purchasing one to use it for business things of that nature. And then I started to kind of dabble around with it with the stylus. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I see the possibilities. The one great thing about it is that you don't have to worry about cleaning up your mess after you're done painting and pulling out all these different paints and mediums, things of that nature, where you can actually just start drawing and get your ideas out. So actually it's a benefit for me because now I can put my ideas on the iPad opposed to taking the time out to draw them out large. I can actually just do a little sketch, get my idea out that way, and then actually go to my canvas and just continue the creative process. So it's actually working out very great. So this particular piece is a jazz painting where I was just kind of experimenting with textures, things of that nature, trying to kind of bring in the different textures that I kind of use in real life and kind of mimic those in this three-dimensional digital world, if you will.
Are there real tools? I'm like, you can choose pastel, you can choose watercolor.
Exactly, yes. So there's different type of palettes that you can choose, and different pencils, things of that nature, like 2B, 4B, things of that nature, and the gradations if you want a heavier feel or a lighter feel with a 2H pencil, which is a lighter pencil, or a 6B, which is a darker pencil, things of that nature, or you have your pastels. You also have a watercolor technique as well. So as long as you're kind of comfortable with these particular tools in real life, I guess you would say, so then when you go to the digital world, or when you go to the iPad, you still have these same type of memory to kind of bring forth when you're painting on the iPad, I should say.
I'm really inspired actually, because that makes it feel like it's not just like you're cheating or whatever using the digital form, but you're actually being able to culminate your ideas before they kind of, if you don't have that dedicated 8 hours.
Yes, exactly.
To put your energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
You can start something and let that kind of brew or simmer for a little while, and use a cooking term.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking up some good stuff, I have to say. And then so what is there a specific, I just want to know what the program is that you use on that.
Yes, so I've actually explored the majority of programs on the market, but the ones that I tend to like the best is Sketchbook Pro and Procreate are the main ones I particularly like, just because you have the more of a flexibility in terms of being able to mix your palette. Also, there's more of a variety of pen and brushes that you can kind of create and actually control the thickness and the gradations of the pencils and things of that nature, which I find really, really great. Another one is paper. It doesn't have all of the tools as the other programs, but it just allows you to be able to jot down quick examples, or just allow you to create quick sketches. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple different tools that I tend to like in that particular program as well.
Well, you know, I know that our lives are filled with art and people who are creating music and
yes.
passionate about what they do, and
mm-hmm.
I'm really glad to have you come
well,
and share
you.
a little bit about what you're up to. I know that you had wanted to mention some of your nonprofit organizations that you support with your art, or
yes.
how does that work? Is
so
that the right introduction?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's several organizations that I work with and that I'm from time to time. I believe the first one is Yeshua's Second Chance Foundation. That's an organization that helps prisoners exit from prison and come into, I guess, everyday life to be able to find a job, be able to start their life over again. Great person by the name of Gwendolyn Jones. She's actually the founder of that organization, and she reaches out to prisoners and things of that nature to help them find jobs and also work their way back into society.
It's been great getting to know you. And
fantastic.
I want to have you back again sometime. I'm really glad that
All
you
right.
started here at the
yes.
DCM TV studios with We Poets,
yes.
and maybe you'll come back and become a producer yourself someday.
Oh.
Please give our viewers your website and any information that they can reach you and find out more about what your work and what your passion is.
All right. Well, my website is M2 Fine Art. That's M, the number 2, FINEART.com. You can reach me at that site. You'll see all the information pertaining to if you need to get in contact with me. Also, you'll be able to see more artwork that you didn't see on the show today. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
right,
much.
appreciate
I'm glad
it.
to have you. And
yes.
From being a sponsor for our film festival
no problem.
to being a sponsor and really feeling connected to the community.
Yes.
I know that there's a lot more to come, and I can't wait for more visuals from you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This has been another amazing episode of Berkeley Squared, where we're showcasing artists who are making a difference in the community and living their passion. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon. And just remember, you're never too hip to be squared.